Incoming audio transmission. Something's happening, Tenno.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the WARFRAME Digest 29. Today we'll be covering Devstream 47 and its relevant topics. Well, its relevant topic. Currently, Devstream 47, not 49, why am I adding numbers? 47 to 7, blah, 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 is all about Update 16. And good news to everyone right off the bat, Update 16 has an ETA of March, but mid-March, which is a twist. Always a catch. Anywho, let's get started. They talked about a couple of things, and not much very interesting in the perspective of footage, so let's start off with something that has some footage. The Riot Moa. The Riot Moa was shown off to have its animations in progress. Its animation, its rigging, its skeletons moving, and everything, it's animated, and it looks very well fleshed out. You can see its idle, you can see its walk, and you can see its deploying. That deploying kind of looks a very teeny bit scary, and I'm very, very giddy to see how will this work in game. New units are new obstacles, and they're always fun. So that's about it for the video footage. So let's actually go to the big footage and leave that running in the background as I cover smaller details. So as you'll see in the background right now, this is footage of the 8-player raid with some of the dev team, pretty much Kickbot and Rebecca playing along, and 6 other people from the office. It looks very interesting, and you're gonna see a lot of mistakes left and right. So, enough dilly-dallying, I'm beating around the bush. Mag's crush. They talked about Mag. Mag's gonna get a pass, and it's about time. She's been very forgotten. She's actually been joked about as the worst frame in the game with the lowest utility range, excluding those situations where you need shield replenishing constantly throughout the map or ruining corpus shields throughout the map. So it's very interesting to hear that she's getting a buff, but all that was teased at this stream was Mag's crush. Mag's crush will be getting a nice buff that is very interesting and well deserved. Currently, Mag's crush works in a 3-stage system. You grab the enemies, you lift the enemies, then you crush the enemies. In each stage, it's just an animation, except for the crushing, where it actually does all the damage. With the new pass, Mag will actually do damage throughout, and also pick up new enemies that come into range. So grabbing them magnetizes them, lifting them propels them into the air, and crushing them deals the damage. With the new system, when you magnetize them, you'll deal damage, when you lift them, you deal damage, and when you crush them, you do even more damage. So it does damage throughout the whole entire animation cycle. Not just that, if they tend to survive, they won't have a 50-50% chance of ragdolling or just standing right back up and shooting you to death. They'll actually go into ragdoll. They'll actually forcibly be knocked down from a blast, pretty much the blast proc, which forces them to be down, and pretty much makes them very easy targets for executions and just more damage from any other weapon. So it's nice to see that we're getting some sort of buff for Mag. She has this in the pretty much long time coming. She kind of deserves it. Sadly, another Warframe that deserves it is Volt, but he's been thrown under the table. Rumor has it, and I say rumor because I don't actually know this time around, on Reddit, people are teasing that Volt will get a very neat overhaul or something in Update 16. People already assume at this point from just those words. Anywho, moving on. They're also talking about PvP. At the beginning of this, they did show a little bit of the PvP. Let me actually stop the raid right here and show you Tension. Tension is the Conclave Master. You can see him popping up right here in this little snip of PvP footage. And also in the relays, he has his own little room, which is, oh, this room right here. Oh, looks so pretty. So Tension is going to be the Conclave Master, and he is like the library, its own syndicate, but revolving around PvP progression and all that. It's very interesting to see some new PvP units and characters having some presence in the world. So, talking about PvP, they also discussed about time to kill. What's the expected time to kill in this PvP mode? For example, Call of Duty and CSGO, as far as I'm aware, well, as far as I've played, sometimes you get one shot regardless. So that seems a little BS, but that's how those games work, and it works for them. But Warframe wants to allow their players some space to avoid and maneuver and be ninja, and some space to rebel and survive. So it's not going to be as short as the COD mechanic of the time to kill, but it won't be as long as Halo or Quake or Unreal, where sometimes you get some nice, pretty long firefights and it just comes up to luck. So it's going to be a nice little medium somewhere around there. But that's speculation from what Scott said. He's not part of the PvP team, even though he did assemble them, but their own direction is their own direction, aside from the core game mechanics, which most of the team works on. Also, PvP maps will be remodeled versions of the existing Conclave maps, and unique and custom-built PvP maps for Capture the Flag, or Steal or Capture the Cephalon in this case. The flag's being replaced with the Cephalon, so it's going to be very, very interesting. So, moving on back to raids, they talked about a couple things for the library, danger room, and tensions room, which I showed earlier, and the real meat to this is the raid system. They had a lot of dabbling back and forth during this. A lot of it was very inaudible. Here's an example.
Apparently you're leading us.
S80 asks, any word on mastery rank requirements for the 8-player raids? It would be good to know beforehand whether we should be trying to raise our mastery.
If I step on it and you're not supposed to, it kills you, duh.
We've talked about mastery rank blocking it, but I don't think it's going to be crazy high.
Where is the on the wall?
If
like
anything,
I see the icon on the wall, but I
initial
don't see
release
how
will
that's
be
related to
70
Look at that, look behind everything. Look behind everyone.
And then
there's a
maybe
thing.
when we
Subsequent raids might be higher.
No, no, I
or
probably
if
could
we
just see
release
if I
the hard
my
version
eyes
of a raid, we'll master
painful
rank
brain.
it higher. So definitely gonna
Okay,
lock
right
it
now
behind
it's
some
that
wall so that new players
that's the
don't
one
stumble
I was
into
on
this
the
and
whole
Yeah,
time.
just get, yeah.
No, it's not. What one's that?
So where are you guys at now? Do you have anything? You have
I'm
two
looking.
activated, or?
Should have brought 2 Lokis, I think.
Very, very inaudible. And as far as we know, things that have been confirmed and teased, and things that I'm extremely looking forward to, are as follows. Raids will consist of 8 players. They are not required to be 8-player parties, so if you have a good team of 4 and feel very confident enough to go up against level 80 mobs, yes, they're level 80, so they're gonna hurt a lot, then go on ahead. But 8 players is always fun, it's always interesting, and you may require 8 players for some of these raids, and I'll get to that in a second. These raids involve unique extended mission types that can vary based on the raid type. Right now, I can see and I can confirm that they have an extended version of Hijack, where you have the Hijack core and you have 8 players pretty much defending it, giving their shields and moving it down the rail system. As well as collaborative puzzles. These puzzles are very simple, ridiculously easy, but depending on your party size or your party makeup, or whether or not they're pugs and they follow orders, things will get very, very nasty. As you can see behind right now, Rebecca's playing with some of the devs and they're struggling. Rebecca figured it out really early on, and trying to get that message across to the other 7 teammates was very difficult and frustrating, and they were dying a lot until the pieces slowly fell into play for everyone. So they were pretty much doing this mission for about 40 minutes, and that's ridiculous. According to Scott, the PvP team knows how they're made and how they're designed, and their coordination is key, and they can finish this specific room in 2 minutes. It took the whole entire dev team that were seeing it for the first time approximately 30 to 40 minutes to complete it. So that actually seems very interesting, and it will be a very strong wake-up call for some of the players seeking challenge. Not all of them are going to be this simple or easy, but they will be placing a lot of mechanics to slow down big squads, because they described it as a snowball effect of DPS. The snowball just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you run through, so they need to stop those players from snowballing so much. And puzzles that require and choke for cooperation is key, and this will make very interesting mechanics. Not just that, they also have severe penalties. So if players are not cooperating correctly or they mess up and make errors, all the other players that are contributing will suffer the consequences. In some cases, 6 of the 8 players were downed because one player got off the pad or prematurely hit the wrong pad. So, yeah, make sure you know who you're going with, or prepare for a lot of frustration with the pugs. And the most interesting detail that I can come from this is the cosmetic augments, the cosmetic overhaul. What does this imply? Arcane augmentations. Or at least that's how I like to describe it. Currently, cosmetics only serve a visual purpose, but for those that have been here long enough, they have the arcane variants that bring in inherent stats. These stats were removed, and now they're just standard cosmetic helmets for some. So, some players want stats, some players want no stats. So for those that want them, they're going to do this raid system where these arcane augments are going to come into play, and you can install them into your cosmetic equipment, into your sandanas, into your arm pieces, into your shin pieces, your chest guard, and possibly your helmet. So that leaves up a total of, let's see, 5, 6, 7 augments you can do. So it leaves a lot of possibility for making some very strong and overpowering combinations, but they will be capped at 1 per piece. So there will be a balance feature somewhere around this. And if you don't like the augment, you can always overwrite it with a better augment or with another augment, or just wipe it clean altogether with the blueprint they are planning to release with this augment system. So no exact details were given, but an idea of one was headshots, pretty much 10 headshots, yeah, would be equal to about 30 seconds of health regen. No idea how strong the health regen would be or how light it would be, very minute. Would it be passive? Would it be by ticks? Or no real details. But overall, the concept is very overwhelming. It's going to be very powerful. A lot of players are going to abuse the system, but it's going to be a system that will be something to strive for. And for those that don't want to run voids anymore, this is very interesting. And not just that, the challenge is going to be ridiculously absurd for them. Hopefully absurd enough to make them very worth challenging yourself and actually striving to obtain. So that pretty much does it for Devstream 47. They really didn't go over much. They asked the question about mission overhauls, but in all honesty, PvP is getting overhauled itself and the raids are coming in. So technically there is an overhaul for a mission, which is Conclave, and there's adding a new mission type, which is raids. They did exclaim that they might be doing a tweak to excavation. The excavation defense systems are very standard and bare bone. You're only defending one thing, so they might tweak it around to change the objectives you're defending or the objectives you're going to cover and things like that. Pretty much extending excavation overall, which is not a bad thing. It's actually very, very good in my perspective. So that pretty much does it. This is actually one of the shorter digests that I've done it in a long time, and I'm very late because of work complications and things like that, but I finally got it done. It's 2-3 days late, so I'm sorry about that, guys. So that pretty much does it. Yeah. Mid-March. Oh, also, the Dragon Warframe was supposed to be teased in this Devstream, but they did not. So you can expect this to go live at TennoLive. Haha! See what I did there by mistake? Yes, Dragonframe will be shown off at TennoLive 2015. I'm saying 2015 because you never know. Someone might be watching this a year from now. It's like, oh yeah, 2016 TennoLive. No. Dragon's already out. No, whatever. Dialogue and rambling. So, TennoLive will happen in 2 weeks from now, or in my case, a weekend. I don't know, in a date. And the Dragonframe will be shown there, and TennoLive will occur at 8 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. So it'll be in the evening for a lot of Americans, which is great. I can see it after work if I get home early enough. And for some Europeans, I'm sorry, it's going to be very early for you guys. You might be on the way to work or the way to school, unless you slept or are not sleeping at all, whatever. So, rambling. Okay. So, take it easy, guys. Have fun. See you guys in game, and have fun, Tenno.